Well, greetings to you. Excuse me getting back on a bit of a hobby horse of mine here, but something just frustrated me the other day, and I'm sure it frustrated you, and it frustrates you all the time. It seems to me that in London, the whole system seems to be breaking down of policing. It seems to be breaking down, and robberies and so on and so forth, and muggings are taking place in broad daylight without any suggestion of interference by our police force. It seems to be absolutely hopeless. And I have said this before, I do not understand why policemen tend to go around in twos and threes in cars or vans and never seem to be where they're needed to be. So we saw, did we not, those oh so welcome immigrants on the beach the other day pointing fireworks at families on the beach. No policemen in sight whatsoever. And this is the problem of not having police on the beat. The whole purpose of the concept of police force of Robert Peel was crime prevention. They're there to prevent crime. Detectives are there to solve crime. Police were there to prevent crime. Now, when I'm in New York, there's a policeman on every corner. And if you walk into Central Park, that policemen are dotted around all over the place. And they're there to step forward when they are needed. Now, the other day I walked from King's Cross. It was a lovely sunny spring day, and I walked from King's Cross to my club in St James's Square. I don't know what that is. I suppose it's about a mile and a bit. I didn't see one single policeman on the beat, not one. Even in a relatively dangerous place like all railway stations are, with pickpockets and so on and so forth, they weren't there. And then all the way to St James's, and then I had to cross the other side of Trafalgar Square to do something else. And I didn't see a single policeman on the beat there. And of course, when I was a youngster, they used to stand there with a proper hat and properly dressed and looking like they were policemen in Trafalgar Square, helping tourists and generally doing all things that the good old-fashioned policemen used to do. That's not happening now. Now, that's a question of operational control. And this is what needs to be sorted out. If you are the head bobby in EC2 or EC3 or SW1 or whatever it is, if you're the operational boss, you should have your men out on the beat. They should be checking this and checking that. And in the old days, weren't even allowed to stop and talk to each other on overnight patrols. Now, the point is, it's not a question of more police or more money at all. It's nothing to do with this. It's a question of operational control. It's a question of leadership, which is now sadly lacking. Proper cops are leaving the police all the time because they're fed up with the situation. And if they get duffed up like in Manchester, the people who duff them up are still walking around free. What's it all about? So we have a serious, serious problem. One might argue it's out of control now. The whole training system, the leadership, fast track from poor universities getting into the police and racing up, a bit like the armed forces these days, racing up the promotional ladder because they got a Mickey Mouse degree in basket weaving or something. Now, we've got to get this sorted out, and I want to hear some of these politicians, wannabe politicians, from the smaller but new and rising parties, actually explaining how they're going to deal with these things operationally. How they're going to deal with them operationally. Not the broad waving of the arms about and saying this and saying that, we need more police and all that. No, I want to know exactly. I want an op order, like it would be in military. I want an operation order. And I want to see some serious, if you will, dogma when it comes to policing, especially in our big cities. It's not happening. Nobody's even talking about it. So I hope you give me your views on this. Bobby's on the beat. We all want them. Why aren't we getting them? Why are we not getting bobbies on the beat when we all want one? They're supposed to do what we want. We're paying the bloody salaries of these people, and enormous salaries, and index-linked pensions. And it's a can of poo. As most of you know, my work is very heavily independently research-based, and I get my information from all over the world. It would help if you press the subscribe button and the little bell next to it, because the more subscribers I have, the more likely it is that international independent research institutes will share their material with me. It's most helpful, and then of course I automatically share it with you. So, surprise, won't cost you anything. Thank you very much.